What is up, everybody? Happy Monday. Mitch is looking a little bit different today, as you can see. Producer AB filling in for Mitch today on live trading. Excited for today. Excited to hang out with you guys. Excited to make some live trades. We've got an exciting day planned. We've got a great guest coming on at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. I've had him on Benzinga Live today. The traveling trader, the one and only, will be joining us. But I've also got my main man, Zunaid, and Mr. Ryan Faloona hanging out in the background. How y'all doing today?
We are doing well. Yeah, I miss Mitch. I hope he's having a great time at the cruise. I'm sure he is. But welcome to the show, pal.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get the show started. When we come back, we'll check out some of the big pre-market movers and see some good candidates for stocks that we can start hitting right when the bell rings.
Here we go.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
All right.
Welcome, Kevin, joining us from Lakeland, Florida. Sounds nice. Florida sounds nice right now. Sun's shining. Ryan about to run things. We'll see about that, Angela. We'll see if we let Ryan run things.
Well, Angela, I gotta say, AB starting off early here. I was trying to say something right before the intro, and AB cut me off. So I'll just go ahead and say it now. Cardinals suck, AB. What's up? Good to have you here. Happy Monday.
Yikes.
Yeah, I'll be honest. This time of the year, like end of April, it just doesn't feel the same. Like I don't think I've been alive where the Cardinals have been like 5 games under 500 at this point. It's been it's been a wake up call. It's been like an ego check because I've been like, oh, maybe we aren't just the best team in the NL Central every single year.
When you're looking up at the Cubs, that must be a strange feeling for you.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't feel like a normal April for me. I'm usually, super stoked about the baseball season in the Cardinals. Not right now, but we'll see.
It looks like you've got one fan out there. That's right. Becca's a Cardinals fan too. Here we go. We're gonna have some fun today, folks. We're gonna have some fun this week.
All right. Well, what is have you guys checked out the movers tool on Benzinga Pro yet today?
Dude, I am ready. I'm surprised. We actually have kind of a poppin' Monday here. One of the things that we've seen recently is that a lot of these kind of dry up right after the open. So I'm really excited to see how the open treats us. Real quick, AB, one of the first things I do is I always want to review the SPY and see where we're sitting at. This is kind of a daily thing. So I'm going to go over that real quick. Then we'll hit the movers tool. SPY here kind of trading sideways, right? We really kind of backed off this trend line. We have not broke 410 to the downside. So we're kind of hanging in the back end of this triangle at this point. Now it's expanding, so it'll be interesting to see where we go. I'm of the camp that I think we break down, but a lot of that is going to depend on earnings, I think, this week. This is going to be the busiest week for earnings. We had FRC report this morning. I believe we have McDonald's going tomorrow. I'll go ahead and pull up the earnings graphic, but lots of earnings, big start to the season. So I'm expecting bigger volume and movement this week. We'll see if we get it. My leaning here is still to the bearish side. We'll see if we snap 410 to the downside. I have the next support level at 405. Now, let's really quickly check in on the movers tool. We're going to start with PTPI because PTPI has actually been a trader for us recently. It is still on the radar here. Thursday, we did pop as high as 951. We've come all the way back down to 540, but we're doing a good job of holding this 509 support. This actually was support the day before Thursday on Wednesday when we first started to make this move. So what we're going to need here is we're going to need to see some volume flow into this. If we can take out this 577 level, I think 6 is probably a given, at least a 6 test. And if we can break through 6, maybe we can take out the entire 6 handle, which kind of I don't really see a whole lot of support in here, maybe 650, but I think that really the next support is going to be the round number at 7. So PTPI, pending volume, definitely going to be on our list here for this morning. Now, as far as fresh issues, let's go ahead and take a look at that. One of the ones we have here is INAB, and you can see that when I charted this here this morning, we were still under this 164. Just recently, we've actually broken through here. We've got a nice catalyst. In bio shares are trading higher after the company announced new data from a phase 1 investigator-sponsored trial of INB100 in leukemia patients. So this is clearly causing this to pop. One of the things that I'm seeing here as far as day trading today goes, I can't even mark the high off because we keep going higher here. One of the things I see here in terms of day trading is how extended we are from the VWAP. So two things are going to happen. One of two things is going to happen here. This is either going to continue its push on momentum right out of the open, or we're going to pull back. No matter what happens, I'm going to wait for this to pull back because I just don't feel confident enough in buying upside breaks early in the morning. I want to see the stock actually trade and set up. But INAB definitely on watch here today. Next is going to be Tempo, or TMPO. This is Tempo Automation. We were as high as 193. We made another push towards the highs and stopped at 169. Now we've continued to break back. We're actually below the 136 support. We're below VWAP. So again, this really needs to firm up for this to be a potential play. Looking at the news tab here, when it loads, just loaded a second ago, not sure why it's not loading now. I don't really see anything here except for some of these forms. So maybe we should dig into those and see what's going on. Tempo here, big pop on volume. We'll see if this ends up gearing up. Again, we want this to firm up. Acon, not the wrapper, but the actual stock, ACON. We made a double high here at 167. We've come back in. Now, this is not very far from the VWAP. So it looks like we've kind of held this 119, 120 support. Maybe we've already started that firming process here on Acon. A curl through the VWAP probably makes us test 141. And if we break that, we'll see if we get as high as 167. Not a whole lot of range here, but if it's firm, it might make an easier target for us to trade here today. Getty, this popped as high as 1001 and is really kind of settled here around 8. We do have a catalyst here. Getty image shares are trading higher after Trillium Capital issued a proposal to acquire the company for $10 a share. Excuse me, Monday morning jitters here. We're about $2 from that $10 high, so it's worth at least watching to see if we get any action here today. Couple more that I wanted to go over real quick. ZVSA, I'm not too sure about this one. This really looks like it's kind of breaking down early. That might have just been a reactionary pop. I'll keep this on watch, but this is not one of my primary targets. FRSX, we were as high as 298. This one also kind of broke down. Really need a VWAP reclaim on volume here. A couple others that I just really quickly wanted to check. Hollow, we were as high as 362 here. There was some news here on Hollow. Let me see if I can find that here. Maybe I'm mixing this up with another stock. I'll go ahead and check. I could have sworn I saw something here on Hollow. And then UCAR, this was our crazy IPO from not long ago. Looks like we're gearing up here. So last one I wanted to mention is SoundHound. Talked a lot about AI recently. SoundHound here holding near the highs. So let's see if this is another day where some of those AI names end up running. Zunaid, you ready to roll, my man?
I am ready to go. And sorry if anyone saw me kind of trying to fix my neck. I slept wrong and it hurts. So I'm trying to take care of that. But focusing on the market as well, let's go and check out the SPY. And I'm gonna do this show while looking a little wonky. That won't be fun. But nonetheless, here's a nice little trend break that we're attempting at the moment. If we go ahead and kind of zoom out a little bit, you can see the trend lines here. Let's actually go to a 30-minute. So we'll see if we're able to kind of break this trend line to the upside. And if so, if we have a retest at approximately 412 or not, and then we can maybe go ahead and see some upside movement. But main thing, though, if you're trying to go short, you need, in my opinion, what I need to wait for is a break of 410. We've seen this level hold way too many times. There's a support right there coming in. So you had the resistance cracked above, support held up, support held up. Didn't even get a chance to test it. I think it was 410.50 or so, where we continuously saw support, but that 410 level is what needs to break, in my opinion, if you want to head on down to the downside. On the upside itself, I would say around 413, you can go ahead and expect some move to the upside. So if we go ahead and break 413, maybe to the upside, but I'm mainly focused on the downside move, and that's how we're going to play it. Not just via puts, actually. So what I've actually done is signed up for search traders. So, you guys have prop firms and things like that. We've looked into those in the past. So I decided to go with Search Trader to kind of start my prop firm journey. So if anyone ever wants to check them out, it's just searchtrader.com, and it's cool to use MetaTrader 5. And so basically I have the $50,000 package. So pretty much it's $400 to go ahead and get that. So check it out, see if you guys like it. And the reason I went ahead and did it is simply because I wanted to have a little bit more leeway and less emotions when I trade with my own money. And I feel like I can be a bit more disciplined to go ahead and trade. But that's what I'm going to be looking for, is going short via puts and also on the Surge Trader account as well on the 410. Let's go ahead and check out the cues on this one. You see we have a break, but it's not as clean. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel that one out. 415 looks to be a level that we may have to keep an eye on, possibly even 414. Let's see if there's any $100 that we have to keep. Oh, by the way, Amazon, this one, I'm waiting for a break of, here, let me just go ahead and move this puppy to 108 to the upside. So we can get a move to the 108 area, get that retest. I'd be interested in this one. I'm going to go ahead and set an alert right there. But if this does want to move to the downside, I'd keep an eye on 106. And if 106 breaks, I think that 105 can be a magnet. And then I think if 108 breaks, I think that 110 can go ahead and be a magnet to the upside itself. 106 clear area for me on Google. We've kind of outlined this before. Go ahead and set an alerts there as well. So 106 needs to break to the upside, and 105 needs to break if I want to go ahead and play this to the downside on Google. Let's go ahead and check out Microsoft here as well. Microsoft, if we can go ahead and get below this 283, go ahead and put that puppy right there. Be interested in the downside as that level hasn't quite cracked. And you have a little bit of noise around that 282 level, but that's going to be the one that I keep an eye on personally, is a 283. And then let's go ahead and check out Disney as that's hovering around 100. You can see it's above it. So now this will actually be interesting. How does it behave around $100? So you can see 99.50 has kind of been resistance in the past. These kind of get tricky for me because it's kind of like, hey, do I just play it at 100 and have my stop loss at like 20 cents, or do I give it the full 99.50 and then maybe buy some shares here? I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is that for now, let me go ahead and connect it here, and then I'll play this as well. All right, cool. I think for now, I'm going to go ahead and grab 150 here, have a stop loss of about 99.45, and then have the same type of profit target here on this side of things. We're going to do that. And if it does dip to, like, say, 99.74s, I'll go ahead and buy an additional, and then we'll go ahead and have that. Not what I meant to do. There we go. Have that trade, same exact trade. Stop loss would be 99.45. And then on Surge Trade, I'm going to do the same exact thing and set up the same thing. So I'm going to still show you guys this. That way it's a bit more transparent. But I'm going to take the same exact trade on the prop firm side of things. And it looks like we've got Microsoft currently moving and blasting off an alert. Let me go ahead and mute that alert so you don't always have to hear it. So we'll see how this one plays out. If we do go ahead and crash, do we come back and test the 283 level and move on down, or how does it go? Kelmet, people are mentioning Mullen, but like, I didn't realize this. But Mullen's like in the 10-cent area, which is crazy because when we interviewed him a while back, it was, I think, maybe in the 60 cents area. And I know obviously it was much, much higher. So a little unfortunate. Hope they're able to, hope any investors here that are, you know, investing in it aren't holding a bag, but best of luck to you. I don't really have anything on Mullen except maybe the 10-cent area, just psychologically. Looks like that held on Friday's trading sessions. So that's pretty much it. Did I get the massage gun? You know, I've had the massage gun, Becca, for almost 8 months now, and I kid you not, it is in the packaging. I haven't even opened it, but maybe I need to.
Your world is going to change when you explore that thing. I'm telling you, they're
really
absolutely fantastic. I've got one. I just used it this weekend. It's absolutely fantastic. Best thing for golf. I'm actually going to bring it on my trips going forward.
Nice. Yeah, might need to do that, because to me it's just like, I don't know. And looking at the screens and all the 4 screens I have, this is not going to be a fun day. We might just focus on one screen and that'll just be a head out. As I turn, it hurts. But anyway, on Tesla, taking a look at the 160, still waiting for that break of that 160. And you can see I've also got weekly support here. Let me actually, where is the weekly? There we go. On Tesla, if it does get to like the 155s, you can see you had resistance. You finally popped above. Then when we popped below, you had resistance. Then we finally popped below, or excuse me, popped above. So that 155 after the 160 break is what I'd be keeping an eye on. But if it does break 160 anytime this week or so, I would be doing it to the downside. Let's see you do it live. You want to see me massage myself live? Look, we might get banned. I don't know. I don't know what TOS and all that is for that. But if you're looking to play this to the upside, I'd say 166 crack to the upside. I'm just saying, Ryan, like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
I love how Jesse's out here just trying to get, people to massage themselves on stream. I didn't think that's what we were going to be discussing this morning, but here we are.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we should have AB do it. If he had his headphones, then maybe you could hear us. But nonetheless, 166 break to the upside is something that I'll have my eye on as well. Taking a look at NVIDIA, 268. If it does go ahead and crack that, that could be interesting. You can see it had resistance, held at support. So that'll be an interesting area to keep an eye on. Is going to be
Look, if you're not going to do it, if it's going to stay in the packaging, someone's got to carry the show here.
I heard the first time you did it, and I thought, did he just snort on air? But I wasn't going to bring attention to it, so I like let it go. And then it happened again, and I was like, all right, there's no way that's a snort.
We out here, boys. We out here.
I might have to bring. Ow! I can't even turn. Gosh darn it. Okay.
We out here, Zunaid. See, I don't have a neck problem right now because I'm all loosey goosey. I'm all massaged up.
Ow.
I'm ready to trade this puppy. I'm gonna need you to get on my level, really quick. I mean, that's what we're gonna need.
I'm gonna go get the thing. Let me see if I can open it. But I'm gonna turn it over to you and your charts here for.
Someone page Zunaid and get him to join reality, please.
I will be back.
Okay. I will go ahead and steer this ship in the right direction, folks. Let's take a look at some of the stuff moving here right before the pre-market. We do have less than a minute until the market opens here, so let's get ready while Zunaid gets that rolling. Just looking at some of the scans here. UCAR, this thing is starting to move early. We'll see what else we end up getting here. Crow, I know you said you were looking at FSR. I was worried about FSR breaking down here a little bit. I guess we'll see if it firms up. We're a little extended away from the VWAP in the other direction, so perhaps a firm up will bring us back towards that VWAP or start some of that upside momentum.
All right, I am going to go ahead and open this. All right, look, I got it here. Like I said, I've had it for I don't even know, 8 months.
We're getting an unboxing, folks. We're getting an unboxing.
Yeah, we'll wait till the market opens. I'd say around 10 o'clock, we'll go ahead and unbox it because I'm sure I have to charge it, hook it up, whatever the hell. So
it should come pre-charged.
Bro, it's been sitting for 8 months. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
All right.
Here we go.
Here we go. Massage the market to get going. Oh, boy. Let's see if we can make that happen, Becca. All right.
INAB moving here. By the way, FRC, which reported earnings this morning here, I know a lot of us are looking at the bank earnings. They were up here, first move down. It looks like it is trying to bounce here. It bounced from about the close on Friday on FRC. So let's see if this firms up and gets going. I'm probably still going to stay away from the banks. Banks have not been a successful trade for me at all, and I've really not done a good job kind of telegraphing them. So still kind of watching this one. FRC, let's see if we continue to bounce here, if we break down. Acon here rejected at the VWAP and pulling back. Dan, good to see you, my man. Rippin' DT, hope you're doing well. Hollow is interesting. Dan, what kind of levels do you have for Hollow? I'm looking at maybe a pullback towards 3 or 305 here to give us the best possible entry. I think if we just broke this pre-market high. Let's see if we get a yank back here on Hollow. By the way, FRC bouncing right back to the VWAP. That was quick. Oh, let me fix my calendar here real fast.
You've got Google headed to the downside, breaking 105. So we're going to be patient a little bit on this one.
Sorry, Zunaid.
You're good.
I'm just fixing this up here real fast.
Oh, my God, bro.
I know. You already know what the solution is. You already know what the solution is. Hollow popping here. So nice little move here on Hollow. I was not able. Let me see. I still have to look through Twitter here. I'm still not sure. Still not sure what's going on here with Hollow. Dan, let me know if you got those levels here on Hollow. This one is kind of interesting. Go ahead.
On Disney, we went ahead and got the 150 shares. So here on the $100 level, right? We got the 150 shares right there. And then we just went ahead and sold it at, where does it say? At $100.42. So that's a quick little trade for us. Went ahead and closed out that trade on Surge Trader as well. So 1 for 1 for the day. I like it. Now we kind of rest and see what happens. If this does come down, I would be willing to buy some more at like 99.57s or so. But for now, that's moving to the upside. Holy smokes, bro. Oh my God.
INAB, by the way, breaking to the upside here. So taking out that 268, that recent high that we took out here, pushing higher. I'm still expecting a pullback to the VWAP. If we don't get it, I'll end up missing this trade. But really what I want to see is a pullback here. Haven't got it. Nice momentum push right out of the gate here on INAB. Acon sold off right at the open here, but has seemingly found some buyers here at the 119, 120 level. Maybe we bounce back towards the VWAP. Not quite there yet. Let's see if Acon goes. And by the way, FRC higher now. So FRC having a strong open out of that little dip right before the actual open here. So FRC looking to take out the pre-market highs here. FRC strong.
If you're still holding
I
on
wanted
to the, what's up? Oh, hello. Hi.
Hey, what up, hey guys? It's 9:33. By the way, the market's been open for about 3 minutes, so I was checking out some of the some of which trades, whatever trades I'm going to make today. So I've noticed something this year that I haven't crunched the numbers on, so I don't know if I'm like actually right about this or if it's just something that I've kind of noticed, and it's not really going to be helpful for our show today, but what I've noticed is that every single day it feels like the market's down, say 0.5% or something, the S&P 500. It feels like every day at around noon, it starts going back up. I want to know the numbers of if you bought just like the S&P 500 every single day at noon this year, at noon Eastern time. If someone out there is like a data scientist or can crunch some numbers, I would love to know, what your returns would be if every single day you bought at noon. I don't know if there's a way to check that out.
I'm sure there
I
is
guess
a
you
way.
could go
I
by
just
like the
don't know.
hourly chart and go.
And
All
you
right,
can
well,
measure,
not
like, the
every day, not
close.
every day it's gonna work out, but I feel like most of the days so far this year. So I might test that theory this week and just put out a little buy order of like $10 on the S&P at noon and just track that holding in my portfolio.
All right.
Just looking at the past couple of days here, even on days it was down, it does look like it traded up past noon, AB. So maybe I like what you're doing here. You're trying to find a pattern that you'd be able to trade every day. It doesn't need to rocket up, but as long as it puts you in profit every day, you can be consistent. Sure looks like that's what it's doing. We'll see if that
Oh
continues.
man, yeah, frick. I was thinking about buying some SPY calls off the open. I didn't, and now it's shooting up. So let's watch overall market. I know you guys were talking about FRC, who reported earnings this morning. Coca-Cola, ticker KO,
Yep.
also reported earnings this morning. Looks like the earnings were pretty good. The stock's up a little bit more than 1% right now. This is one that's not usually like a big mover. It's more of one of your classic value Warren Buffett stocks that pays a nice dividend, but it's been on a nice little trend over the past, I don't know, few months. It's definitely moved more than Coke usually does. What are your guys' thoughts on this one right here?
Coke more of a income play than a growth play. I know Coke really pays a great dividend. This is a Warren Buffett favorite. Seeing this type of movement here, encouraging, but I mean, like, let's put it into perspective. We're up maybe 75 cents here this morning. Nice little 1.2% move. I mean, I like this as a stock. This is a pretty nice daily chart formation. Sure looks like this wants to go higher. Maybe we challenge the 67 high here.
Yeah, and then another canned beverage company. This one's been surrounded by some controversy, but little St. Louis stock, Bud, ticker BUD. That one has come back up. I know a lot of people were quick on Twitter to talk about, oh my God, this company lost $7 billion in market cap, but it seems to have fully recovered, if not more. So this one's showing some strength over the past week or so. Have you checked this one out, Ryan?
Yeah, so normally don't trade these at all. We're actually not back to where we were before some of that sell-off started. Granted, we have recouped quite a bit of this. One thing that I say all the time is trade what you know. I do not know beer very well, especially let's just be nice and call it piss beer. I'm not
because you're more of a whiskey guy, right?
Whiskey and wine, WW.
Okay. Whiskey and wine. Well,
but I mean, just looking at this chart here, sure looks like this wants to come back and test those highs. Aaron, you're right.
yeah, that was just one that I honestly, I don't know if this happened. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people right after that the whole controversy went out and started buying puts on this, etc. But like, the market, it's usually not that reactive with these huge stocks like Anheuser-Busch InBev. Like, you think about how many billions and billions of dollars this company makes every week, every month. that like something like a little, PR thing that's going to cause some like trouble on Twitter and whatnot usually isn't going to tank the stock that much.
Yeah, and that's actually a good point, Aaron. I mean, leave your emotions at the door. The market really doesn't care about your emotions no matter what the stock is. You can absolutely show your support or not show your support with your wallet. But the thought that someone or a group of retail traders is going to end up moving such a big stock like Bud, to me, that seems like wishful thinking.
Yeah, 100%. We'll get back to some of the top movers of the day. I know Coke and Anheuser-Busch a little boring compared to some of the stocks we're going to look at. But I see Jesse in the chat was saying picklebacks are my new fave. Here's a little trick, or I don't know what it is, but so this is a thing where I went to college in Columbia, Missouri, called a pickle beer. So you typically take a cheaper beer, like, how Ryan said, piss beer, whatever you want to say. So it's usually with like a Stag or a Coors Light or a Bud Light. And you just put a pickle spear in the pint. It's very good. Delicious. Used to drink those all the time. Sounds weird. Very good.
Yeah, if you despise pickles, that's probably the worst way to start or your morning here hearing about that. That's kind of where the camp that I'm in. But yeah, that's really gross.
I've had people that don't even like pickles, Ryan, that like a pickle beer. There's something about the two flavors. The pickle takes something out of the beer. I don't know what it is. Just don't knock it before you try it. Go out there, try it.
I just finished saying leave your emotions at the door, and here I am giving you my opinion. My apologies.
No, you're good.
By the way, just really quick, one of the stocks that we were talking about here, Acon, this did actually kind of hold and move through the VWAP here. Are we halted? Yes, we are. We are halted here on Acon. So I want to see where this opens up. AB, I'm sorry about that, my man. Keep going.
Oh, no, you're all good. I see Lori in the chat saying she likes pickleball. Lori, me too. I've gotten into pickleball heavy the past few months. In a couple leagues now up here in Detroit.
You're in a league? I got my own pickleball set and court where I live. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I grew up playing tennis, so I was very resistant to hop on the pickleball train because there was this whole like tennis players versus pickleball, war going on. But I was like, screw it, I'll try it a few months ago. Joined a league. I've picked it up very quickly with my tennis background, so I think it's just fun to be good at something. So yeah, it's been fun, been a good time.
I did win pickleball in my college days. I said I won pickleball in my college days, doubles. Yep.
There you go.
Have a shirt to prove it.
Oh, it was you said you read that there was a Michigan. Maybe it's just a Midwest thing in general, but I've never seen people do it up here in Michigan, but in Missouri. Not even in St. Louis, but like in Columbia and in mid-Missouri, it was definitely a thing.
We played pickleball in gym class here in Illinois. I don't want to date myself, so I'll just go ahead and say years ago. But pickleball's been around. It's more in Missouri and Michigan.
Yeah, we did that too when I was like a kid, but I never really like in gym class, and it wasn't fun, or I never even really like acknowledged it. And then it wasn't until a couple months ago I was actually playing pickleball with my cousin who played tennis in college. So we were having like intense matches, and I was like sweating. I was like, okay, this is like a real sport. This is fun. This isn't like what I played in gym class when I was 10. So then I've been playing it more, have quickly worked my way up to like a 4.0 player, which is on a rating system once you're pretty good. So yeah, it's fun. I'm certainly better at pickle than I am at like golf or anything else.
That's saying something. By the way, INAB here, nice little move here. That push out of the gate. This is one of the things that we talked about wanting to wait here. We actually came into the VWAP too distracted with pickleball talk to actually take this. Let's see if we get back down here. If you did take it near or at the VWAP here, I think 268, your first sell spot here, your first sell trigger. I think we might find some resistance there. Actually, we'll see if we end up testing this. Looks like it's trying to get a little heavier, and Acon is open, folks. Acon is now opened higher. Let's see if we go towards that 160 here. High print that I have from the extended session is going to be 167. Looks like that might be on deck here if we can keep having some of this momentum. Coming back in here to fill this gap now on Acon.
Ryan, you mind pulling up NVIDIA real quick? Someone said in the chat that was running off the open.
There is nice little move here. Pop out of the open, move back toward VWAP, and now a push away from VWAP. NVIDIA, a lot of talk about NVIDIA being a potential AI play here. By the way, Acon really going here. I'm sorry to flip back and forth, but Acon going for that high again here. Looks like we might have hooked one here on Acon. Let's see if we end up pushing higher.
I'm going to go ahead and try Acon here at 151. Stop loss will be 136. See
I'm waiting for this VWAP. Getting close. Need that 136, 137 VWAP here for an entry for me. I'm trying to be a little bit more tactical. Remember, we got a small account challenge coming up. I'm out of practice on small accounts, so I'm really going to have to stay disciplined, and I'm trying to work that into my trading habits early so that I don't blow the count up on day one.
Yeah, speaking of blowing your account, I'm buying some SPY calls right now. This is going against my theory of waiting till noon. Oh, see, and right after I bought them, it started to roll over a little bit. So, but it seemed, I don't know, something about the market right now. Like, I've talked about this on Benzinga Live a lot, that I feel like we're in just this kind of channel zone when you're looking at the SPY or the overall market, where like we're not going to get too far to the upside or too far to the downside, because you have certain things creating a ceiling and floor. Obviously, higher interest rates may make it harder for the SPY to go back to all-time highs. And on the floor side, you have the different things that the economy right now, underlying economy, has actually been pretty strong and held up really well through these interest rate hikes. And at any time that we do get something like the banking crisis that almost happened a few weeks ago and all this stuff, like, the Fed will essentially have to come in and cut rates. So I think we're basically trading in this channel. But it does seem like the market's been super resilient. So I'd rather be trading it on the long side than the short side right now.
Makes sense here. Sorry, I'm still watching Acon. I feel like this wants to try and go, but I think we might have one more VWAP test here. Watching Acon. Zunaid, how you doing in your Acon position?
Went ahead and purchased some at, excuse me. Here, let me go ahead and pull it up. At near VWAP, here's a 1 minute chart. Let me go ahead and flip to my So went ahead and purchased 200 more. So now my average price is 500 at 146 is the entry. VWAP is still holding on. Stop loss for me is going to be 124. Going to take about 300 shares of the 500 out at 166, which is near that pre-market high. Might actually move that down 2 cents. There we go. So you got your VWAP test. Now let's see if we go ahead and bounce back up. Oh my God, this neck.
Zunaid, you dealing with neck problems, my man?
Yeah, I woke up. I slept wrong, I guess. I don't know. Oh, man.
Why is the volume so high on Mullen? 230. Is that right now? There's already been more than 200 million shares traded?
Really?
There's no way. That can't be. You might be looking at it weekly.
It is also a 10-cent stock, so like maybe, you know what I mean?
He is correct. 238 million shares traded here. The average volume is 246 million, like Zunaid just said. One of the reasons this stock is trading so much volume is because it's 10 cents. And for whatever reason, it seems to have some type of cult following on Twitter or on social media. And when I say that, folks, it's not a derogatory thing. A cult following, I have stocks that I follow. It's totally fine. But that's why it appears to be trading. The notable thing about this volume number is that we're 15 minutes into the market and we're almost at the average volume. Something going on here. Don't really think this goes higher here. I'm not a believer in Mullen. The action here early is weak. So that seems like some selling going on here early. Fault saying it's highly shorted. So we take a look at this. We do have 9, almost 10. This is actually as of the end of March. This is likely higher. Faults is probably right. We're probably above 10% of the float shorted. Now, only about 1 day to cover. So this shouldn't be a prolonged short squeeze move if you do get that. Again, these volume numbers so high because the stock price is so low.
Amazon, by the way, just never even gave me a chance to get in at 108 on the retest. It just said, bye-bye, moved up $1. We've been waiting for this break. Unfortunately, haven't got a chance to play it. Now, the only way I see this coming up maybe is the 108.50s, which is VWAP. So that could be something to keep an eye on. But for me, I wanted 108, didn't really quite get it at all. NVIDIA moving to the upside again. I'm patiently going to wait and see if we can break the 175 area or so. But
J2K, yes, Acon halted to the downside. So on that push, we really got that. We really got that knife. Now, here's the thing, Zunaid. It's only 5 cents below the VWAP. So the fact that we pushed up so high means that this downside halt is actually still kind of around the VWAP. My guess, because it's a downside halt, we open lower, but this actually may catch being right around the VWAP. We'll wait and see. By the way, this is a great lesson here in why, when you're dealing with halts, if you want to trade a halted stock, I don't necessarily recommend putting your order out. Remember, I was looking for this at VWAP. Had I have put my order out there and had it sitting there as opposed to actively placing it and actively managing it, as soon as this sold off, I would have been filled, and then the stock would have been halted to the downside, and who knows, stock could open up and gap down, and then my buy that I just kind of left hanging out there ended up putting me in some trouble. So I don't advise doing that. I don't advise trading halt fest stocks anyway. We'll see where this ends up opening here on Acon.
Oh my God.
Zunaid, you need to get on that massage gun pronto. I mean, I'm
I can't even turn to get it, bro.
INAB, by the way, INAB here at VWAP. This might be interesting. I'm actually going to take Acon out of focus here and kind of watch INAB. I'm a little bit nervous. We'll check back in on Acon when it opens up again.
Should I buy some shares of Bed Bath & Beyond right now?
Yes.
Are we going to get a little short squeeze there?
Yep, sure will. Go for
All
it.
right. I mean, it's only...
Zunaid, you didn't even think about that. He could have asked you anything right there.
Well, look, if I'm in physical pain, he's got to be in financial pain, right? We're buddies. Come on. Do it, AB.
Is that how it works?
It does now.
Oh, and I can trade options on it too. I didn't even realize that.
Dude, all in.
I'll buy some 50-cent options that expire at the end of the week, just in case we get some crazy short squeeze.
What is it trading at cent-wise right now?
22 cents. So I just need it to go.
Yeah, it'll definitely go up 100%. Yeah, no question.
Zunaid, right. You're fun at the craps table, aren't you? You're the guy at the craps table encouraging all your friends to just.
Dude, I haven't played crabs in so long.
So I just bought 100 shares of a company that filed for bankruptcy. I'm no Warren Buffett, but I don't think that's typically like the investing strategy to go with. So this is the part of the show where I tell you to do as I say, not as I do. And this is not financial advice, but I did just, again, I bought some options and 100 shares of a ticker BBBY, Bed Bath & Beyond. Baby, come back to the market. Don't go bankrupt on me just yet.
AB, you're on fire here this morning. By the way, INAB looking pretty good here. Looks like it's trying to pull away.
Oh my goodness.
Someone join me on this Bed Bath & Beyond trade. I mean, come on.
Pass.
What? You're the one that said I should do it, Zunaid.
This is where I tell you that you should do as I say and not as I do.
That's not how
It's the reverse. It's the
all right.
reverse.
First of all, that is not how I sound. I'm a man.
Pick it up an octane a little
with a deep voice. I'm a man. Okay, that's not how I sound.
By the way, why does this massage gun look like I have the nuclear codes inside? Like, what is?
I have something like that too. I think, or left it at. I've been a man in my culture for 12 years.
What does that even mean?
It means I was bar mitzvahed when I was 13.
Okay.
So
I was like, you have a quinceañera? Like, what are you talking about?
a quinceañera. Yeah, I had a quinceañera. Honestly, that would be really fun if you just like did everything, right? Like you had a bar mitzvah at 13, a quinceañera at 15, like you just did it all.
Yeah, you're just multicultural.
That's how I'll raise my kids. I'll say, you're not any one thing.
I mean, look, you keep investing in things like BBBY, you can totally afford to do those things.
100. Well, let's see. All right, I'm down 3%, right? Although my spy calls, my spy calls are up. So,
by the way,
again, I'm gonna wait till noon to buy more of those, just because it's
Acon's open and it stopped me out. I'm out of Acon. All right, I'm locked in. I'm getting locked and loaded here, y'all.
Acon bouncing back to the VWAP here, interestingly enough.
Of course it is. It
All
took
right,
me
I gotta
instead
go.
of going right back up.
Blow my nose real quick. Allergies kicking my ass this spring.
A real man wouldn't need to blow his nose.
Whoa.
Well.
Whoa, Zunaid.
That's it. You're right about that. So
I'm taking shots.
Joe Dagger long PHG right now, not on the list. I can't even pronounce this. I'm not even. Zunaid, give me your best shot at pronouncing this.
hold on. By the way, Akon moved up after stopping out.
PHG.
Ow, 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 ow.
That's not how it's pronounced.
Phillips. That's how I go. That's how I go.
Okay, so so you just don't even try to. I got you. I got you.
No,
okay.
no. Ow.
Joe, what's the so VWAP? So PHG, that was just VWAP. I'm just gonna call it PHG. Forgive me. I'm not gonna butcher that name. Looking for a VWAP trade here. SPY after that push up that put AB's calls in profit. Looks like it's getting a little heavy here. We've actually seen this before. It looks heavy, but then it ends up taking the next leg here.
I don't know if y'all can hear it or not, but there's my voice with the massage gun.
But isn't it nice?
It is kind of nice. I just hope it. Oh, ow! That's my bone. Okay, all right.
Don't you have different attachments that you can put on it? Some are softer than others. Some work better over clothes.
Yeah. Oh God. Okay.
Where's AB BBBY new highs here going higher on BBBY? Where is AB?
Dude, he's gonna come back and talk shit to me. I know it.
Well, I mean, of course that's going to happen. But he just took new highs. We just took these highs out. Let's see if this can get rolling here.
Nice. He's now up 8 cents.
Akon halted to the upside. This thing has no idea what direction it's trying to go yet. No idea at all. We're going to keep watching it though. See, here's the thing. I'm really glad that I didn't take this. Number one, because even in my main account, I'm going to be, this is too all over the place for me. I'm going to be second guessing myself, this, that, and the other. This is exactly the type of trading setup that I am going to try to avoid in the small account challenge. Why is that? Because I'm not going to have the ability to go back and forth and stop out of every trade that I make. And I want to have something that's just a little bit easier to hold. So this type of back and forth action here, we've been halted a whole bunch here on Akon. Good luck if you play it. I'm probably going to take this one off the list. Let's go check back in on INAB here.
I'm having a great time. Oh,
INAB here holding at the VWAP. Oh, Zunaid, that sounded like you hit a spot right there. Let's go. Sounded like you hit a spot right there.
This is what we do when Mitch is gone. We have no order.
Yo, you know what's funny about that is Mitch is probably on his cruise right now getting a real massage,
That's
not
very
giving
true.
a damn about what's going on.
That is very true. Oh.
PHG showing up on the relative volume scanner there, Joe.
Oh my goodness. All right, I'll play around with this a little bit more. Oh fuck. Okay.
That thing's going to change your life, Zunaid. The more you get a feel for it, you're going to be like, oh man, this is great. Every day you're going to start with that thing. You're going to be giving us tips left and right.
Yeah, I've been YouTubing a lot of things about how to make things in an air fryer. So now I'm gonna YouTube best ways to use this massage.
There we go. Learned a lot from you. You can get an entire college education from YouTube, folks.
Amen to that. That's how I learned how to trade. Do you have an airplane neck brace thing? I really wish I did because I actually had neck pain from working out on Friday and I had a flight to Houston yesterday. And boy, was I in pain. But that's a different story. Oh. Yeah, definitely not going to the gym today. Nope. All right, taking a look at Akon as it's halted. Of course, like I said, it stopped me out, and then it decided to bounce right back up. So a little annoyed with that. Let me move this massage gun because now it's in my way of my charts, and I don't like that. Okay. SPY looking to break the 413. If it does, I'd be interested in some calls. If it doesn't, I wouldn't be. I'll wait for the retest if you're interested to go long, in my opinion. So either the break or the retest at 413 or 412.20 area could be interesting. Watch Bob and Brad on YouTube. Sydney, if I YouTube that right now, am I gonna like end up into something I wouldn't want to run into? Bob and Brad. Oh, the therapist. Okay. All right, perfect. Thank you. Yes, I will look up their channel for neck pain. Oh, matter of fact, 2 years ago they had something right on neck pain. It's like the YouTube is listening.
By the way, ZVSA, or excuse me, yeah, ZVSA, who mentioned this? I'll try to, Christoph, mentioning that it was up 20%. So it is up off the bottom. But interestingly enough here, this sure looks like this is going to kind of close it to VWAP. I feel like I'm a little late to this, but this actually looks good here. ZVSA, I think the next spot here is going to be a VWAP test at about 254, currently at 225, going for a break here higher. I don't really see a whole lot of size on the level 2 either. ZVSA, great call, Christoph. Great call. You're able to fight off all of the goofing around that we're doing and throw some pretty good calls into the chat. Way to go.
Hey, Sydney, stop it. Oh, my goodness. How many of us had YouTube as our trading professor? I 100% did.
Oh, dude, I will still check out YouTube videos. I'm a big believer in lifelong learning, and I believe that you can learn things from almost anybody out there. There's a lot of really good content on YouTube. You can find it just simply by trying it. If it sounds pumpy, if it feels pumpy, maybe look for something else, but there's a lot of good content on YouTube. I do it all the time, and for more than just trading too.
Yeah, like I said, I learned how to make some things. You know what I want to make? Have you? You eat Indian food sometimes.
Oh,
have you ever
man.
had South Indian food? It's like it's like vegetarian food. So I'm not the best person to describe it, even though I am brown. But like, yeah, basically like no meat. So like idlis, dosas, and things like that. South Indian food in Chicago.
I mean,
you know what?
Indian food has a lot of vegetarian entrees in it. I've had some of them, but I generally don't go to restaurants that specialize in plant-based food.
Okay, I'm gonna give you one
special reason for me to do that.
I don't want to dox you or anything like that, but there's this place.
Don't do that, Zunaid. By the way, really quick before Zunaid goes off on his tangent, ZVSA trying to break that high. This is one of the things we're waiting for, right? This is why I said I was late and I didn't want to take it. We did actually break that high by a couple of cents, but the next candle was a knife right back through it. What I'd really like for this to do is actually firm up and give me an option or give me a tradable thing. The stock looks good, and providing we don't break down through this low here, still possibly in play. Remember, we get a lot of this movement later in the market. So ZVSA is still on watch here for me. Like that it's coming back in here. This might give me a better entry. Volume looks good here, ZVSA. Sorry, Zunaid, go ahead.
You're fine. I'm going to slack it to you, but there's a place called Mild to Spicy that maybe you can check out whenever you're free this weekend, next weekend, whatever. Ow. I can't even laugh because then my neck hurts. This is terrible.
By the way, shout out to Beach Bum. Walter saying, learned a lot on YouTube. Beach Bum trading and ICT, the best for me. Shout out to Beach Bum. Beach Bum, I have to give you a mea culpa here. I know we've been talking for a long time. I've been following you. I've said I've appreciated your support. I had never checked out your YouTube channel until this weekend. So I'm sorry for being a little late to the crowd. Good stuff on there. And you folks definitely check out Beach Bum. Member of our community here, does a nice recap and breakdown of things going on and explains things pretty well. So shout out to you, Beach Bum. Keep up the educational stuff. Akon, our little halt fest here going back towards the highs. Let's see if that 167 absolutely or comes into play here. I'm sorry for even saying that. Let's see if 167 comes into play here.
I will try it one more time.
PGH looking good, Joe. This looks like this might push away from your VWAP. ZVSA kind of trading sideways here. That's what we want to see. We want to see it consolidate a little bit before we end up pushing away.
Oh.
I don't see anything new popping up on here on the scanner. Akon going for that high. PTPI getting knifed, says Smoke Tuna. Yes, it is. So one of the things that we said here on PTPI, it's had a wild couple of days, really needed the volume. Look at what happened. We didn't get it at all today, right? You did not get your entry trigger. We did not get the thing that we were looking for in order to take this as a potential long here. PTPI breaking down here. This has got to firm up and get volume.
Session highs on Akon. It did not give me the additional dip buy at VWAP, but we did get in at the 151, and I believe it might be halting here if it can continue its upside movement, but we do have a new high in terms of the session. Did not break the pre-market high, which is around the 168 area.
Yeah, but that's coming right here, Zunaid. Or that
My
test
take
is
profit
coming.
is 177. Oh my God.
Here we go. They brought a bid in under it. This is going to halt here. It's going to halt at 166 if it holds here, folks. Acon halted. Acon halted to the upside at 166. I got to think now when this opens, we actually open above that 167 high. I got to think so. I'm with you there, Zunaid.
Yep. Well, I'm looking to go ahead and take my gains at 177 on this bad boy. Again, could not get my additional fills at 140 near VWAP, so I'm going to cancel that order out. Oh my God. Oh. I'm going to take a
Matt asking if I watched the SFR move on Friday afternoon. You know what? I did not. I was actually away from my desk on Friday. I had some other things to take care of, so I didn't see any of this stuff. But Matt, this is a really good point. This is what I've been saying about sometimes these moves happen later in the afternoon. You can see this actually didn't really have a lot of movement early. All of a sudden, as soon as we get that volume to expand, look what happened. And this actually did give you a really good trade on that break of 112 on SFR. Now we're looking for some continuation today here. We're coming back into that 112 level. We haven't got the continuation yet, but again, let's see where this sets up. If we come into 110, 112 and we trade sideways, there's a possibility that this ends up getting another volume expansion in the afternoon and giving you a tradable spot. Going to be much better than being extended from the VWAP or at highs where it can easily pull back on you.
Oh my God. Ryan, I can't remember the last time I cried because of physical pain, but this is getting close. Holy smokes.
Okay, well, you're doing an excellent job hiding it, and I believe you can keep doing it.
I'm a man. Speaking of which, people are missing AB. AB's busy looking at his pickleball tournaments, I think. Oh, there he hears us.
AB might be crying from his Cardinals being behind the Cubs. That's what I think it probably is. Zunaid, do you think you can hold the fort down for a sec here while I run
yeah,
the
buddy.
washer?
Yeah. No, I can cry and vent about my neck pain all day. Ow. I guess that's one downside to being a
What were you
trader
guys
with many
saying about me?
screens. Nothing, bro. You rock. How's your trade going?
My BBBY trade, I'm down 5% right now, but we're in it for a long-term investment, not a trade. So I'm not worried about it now.
All right, I'm gonna put AB in the back with that type of comment.
No, I don't know. I mean, it's not looking good. If you want my honest opinion on the Bed Bath and Beyond trade.
What's your fill, buddy? Before I
my what?
What's your fill? Oh, you got options, right? Or what'd you get?
Yeah, I got options and common stock. I'm let's see. Let me get you a
All right, while you do that, I'm gonna go and take a look at Apple, as that one is below VWAP.
Really?
Apple is below VWAP and also the previous close of 165.02.
All right, my fill on Bed Bath & Beyond, my average share price was around 24 cents. We'll call it 24 cents.
Nice, you top ticked it. Very cool.
Yeah, I mean, it takes skill to do that sometimes. So yeah, my option contracts, they're at 50 cents, expire this Friday. I got them for 3 cents a contract. Those have not moved. My SPY calls are down a little bit as SPY's rolled over, but again, we're gonna double down on those at noon. So that's when the real trade starts, is at noon. I just wanted to get a little tester out there before then, just in case, you know.
Yeah.
Let's check out Apple real quick, Zunaid, because this is interesting. If Apple's below VWAP, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of times stocks end up coming back to test their VWAP, correct?
Oh, I don't have the data on it, but from my eye test, whenever I trade, yes.
Okay.
Yes, definitely.
There you go.
All right. So when does Apple report, by the way?
Let's see. Apple reports on the 4th.
Yeah, let me
of
get
May.
that graphic. Let me get the. I meant to do that earlier. Sorry.
No worries. I'm gonna focus
Yeah, it's
in
on
on
our
Akon
Twitter
again.
right now.
Yeah, it's also probably in the social media content.
Yeah, Alyssa does a great job with that.
Yes, she does.
Shout
All
out
right.
to her.
Well, I just bought some Apple calls too.
Oh, nice. You feel like eating ramen or what?
No.
What's wrong with
No.
ramen?
There's nothing wrong with it. If you choose
I
to
actually
eat
kind
it.
of I actually feel like I'm kind of playing with house money right now.
Because of your big investment in BBY going to the moon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm already banking on that at being at least a 10xer. Because I mean, if you think about it, right, like we're due for a good little short squeeze there. So I mean, the stock's at 23 cents. There's probably some greedy people coming in thinking, hey, I'm going to short this stock because it's at 23 cents and it's got to go to zero. But in my opinion, right, that's not where the upside is at this point, right? If you wanted to be short Bed Bath & Beyond, you should have been short the past couple weeks as we were heading to this point. Now that you've already filed for bankruptcy and the stock's trading at 23 cents, now's the time to go long. No, I'm just kidding. Not really, but I did.
You've got Akon that went ahead and unhalted, made a new high, came right back down.
Why is everyone talking? Why are you guys talking about Akon so much this morning? Are you guys
Because
listening?
we're all
to
feeling
some...
lonely. What do you mean?
Okay. He also saying I'm so paid, right?
You know what? If I had a sound mixer thing, that is something that I would load up. Ow, 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 ow. But anyway, waiting for Akon to go ahead and break this pre-market high of 168, having met resistance there. 177 is where we're looking to take shares out.
Can we get some recommendations in the chat for Zunaid's neck? I can't watch him in so much pain anymore.
They've given him recommendations. He has the tool. He literally is not using it.
Well, because I want to sit here and vibrate in front of everybody. By the
Do
way,
it.
profits taken. Shut up, baby. Profits taken on Akon.
Yeah,
We need to get you.
Akon through that 167 level that we talked about.
Is there anyone in the Atlanta region that can go give Zunaid like a cortisone shot or something?
Oh, I might have to actually look up massages. By the way, 181 on Akon. Would not be surprised if this goes ahead and tests 2 bottles to the upside. We have a guest on later today. It'd be kind of funny. Bless you.
Oh man, I gotta go.
That was gross. We heard it and we saw it.
Marie, our resident doctor, saying heat and Advil. So there you go. We've given you everything. You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink.
Okay, I don't know if I have a heater, but I definitely have Advil. Oh.
Webcoin suggesting that you invest in Botox, Zunaid. Not advice, just entertainment purposes.
Icy
By the
hot.
way,
Yeah.
ZVSA really kind of drying up on volume, still trading sideways, but really need to see something come into this to kind of change what's going on. And FRC, another break to highs here. So good to see on FRC. Looks like, is Akon halted again to the upside? 185? Indeed it is. Akon, another halt to the upside.
Oh. Yeah, honestly, Walter, what I'm going to do is I'm going to Instacart some icy hot and stuff, and then I'm definitely going to take a hot shower and see if that'll help. Oh. Wrong medicine, Ryan. Ow. Okay, let's see what else is going on in the markets. By the way, Disney at 100. I am keeping an eye on Disney in case it does want to break 100 so that I can go short. My target would be approximately the 99.60 range. Boy.
Hollow really broke down from the open here. Didn't work very well at all. ZVSA trying to pop. That one's still kind of interesting to me, ZVSA. How did those AI names do? Let's check the AI names. I want to check sound. AI just kind of down. Let's check sound. That didn't go anywhere today, did it? Nope. Rolling to the lows.
I would have loved for the ticker AI to test $20 because that would have been a beautiful short opportunity there because you've got the previous close and the previous resistance and it's a whole number. Boy, that would have been great. You are using it wrong. The box. Yep, glad I stopped reading that. Ow. Ugh.
All right, my long Apple trade's kind of actually scary now that I'm looking at the chart. It seems like Apple's in this kind of channel, and it's got some overhead resistance. I don't know. We'll see.
Tesla breaking towards the lows here.
Yeah, I've got a crayon drawing on Tesla.
Tesla, for me, it's this 160 level. This is actually this dark blue line here. We actually discussed this in happy hour. We got a lot of Tesla traders here in happy hour. This sure seems to be the next possible bounce point. You can see I do have some points under it, but we really need to break down from that 160 handle first. I expect a bit of a bounce there.
What guess, AB, were you going to mention? So in about 22 minutes, AB, you want to tell them who we've got?
Yeah, we've got this trader. His name's Z. He's way better than our Z, so make sure to stick around for that. No, I'm just kidding, but his name is Z, I think. That's at least. The traveling trader. You may have seen his YouTube videos out there. He's got more than like 100 or 200,000 subscribers or something. I've had him on Benzinga Live before, and yeah, great guy to talk about the markets with. Active trader, so it's always good to get people that are actually trade on. Because sometimes, not on this show necessarily, but on Benzinga Live, I'll bring people on who, are talking about the markets, but they're not actually traders. They're not in the trenches with us. They're not losing money like we are. That know, how it works and the feeling, everything. So the traveling trader, he's the man. He actually does it, and like the title of his YouTube channel, The Traveling Trader, he trades and lives a nomadic lifestyle. We'll be trading from, Greece one day, the United States the next day, Europe the day after that. So pretty interesting guy. Definitely excited to bring him on here in about 15 minutes.
Sweet. That sounds
Yeah.
Also, the latest trade I'm making right now is transferring more money from my bank account to my Robinhood. So that one usually has like 100% success rate.
When your most recent trade is a deposit, oi.
Yikes.
No,
like
in a
that.
good way. In a good way, I think.
How is that in a good way? Because the money you had already put in has been
deployed?
sufficient
It's
enough.
illiquid.
Oh,
It's
deployed
like
is the word we're using. Okay. by the way,
deployed. Yeah, it's like, oh wait, did you guys see the wording that SpaceX put out after the rocket blew up last week?
No, what did they put out?
Okay,
was
so
the
it
wording?
said I'll find the exact like press release, but it was like, the rocket first successful launch, and then it said like it experienced a rapid unplanned disassembly.
But they had planned for it to blow up, right?
Yeah. So the whole thing about that, AB, is that they really wanted to clear the launch pad without destroying it so they could go ahead with their next launch. I think what the problem was is that it didn't break apart the way that they anticipated, but that rocket was always designed to be wasted. It was either going to crash into the ocean and sink or explode.
No, I hear that, but I'm saying clearly it wasn't exactly because they planned for it to separate and then all this stuff for it to happen. So they called it, I got the exact wording up, a rapid unscheduled disassembly, which
So
I think
for you,
is
it's a disassembly. That's weird.
By the way, ZVSA here, potential move through 220 if we clear it out. Little bit of size there at 220, trying to curl up here. ZVSA, this actually looks pretty good.
Acon to the upside as well. Holy shit.
No, I was saying I appreciate that as someone who like studied like PR and marketing and stuff in college. Like I should start using that type of phrases for like my portfolio. Like I experienced a rapid, unscheduled
Decline.
Decline. Yeah, I didn't blow up my portfolio. I just experienced a rapid, unscheduled decline that I was not properly liquid for.
Acon, boy, oh boy, to the upside with a halt fest. 213. Yeah, me selling at 170 cent was el stupido. But nonetheless, Acon, blast off to the upside. Where can this one go? I do not know, but we shall pretend to find out together. Let me go ahead and move this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and let's see where we can find. All right, so I'm thinking 250 here. I'm thinking 250, right? Let's see. And then after that, I'd say approximately 276. That's what I've got. That is what I've got. Let's see if it actually comes to fruition or not.
Okay, I'm going to try a little ZVSA right here at 220. I'm going to have a real tight stop, 206. Small position because I'm just trying to get into the hang of things here. I want to see this break 220 and then break 231. That will be the exit trigger to close.
I swear, AB just disappears more than my father. You know what I mean? He just goes.
I'm not even gonna touch that, dude. Like, what are you doing?
I was tracking my track. I had to go in. I had to go in full. I had to go in full. All right. Well, my Apple calls are up 15% right now, so that's making up for my Bed Bath. By the way, my Bed Bath and Beyond shares are now down to 8.5%. So yeah, just a quick update there. But again, the Apple calls are up 10%. So when you do the math there, I'm still up a little bit more than 1%. If I did that every trading day, I'd be up like 250% on the year. That's beating Warren Buffett. That's beating Kathy Wood. So say what you will, the YOLO strategy is working out this morning.
220 down, 220 down. Here we go. 229. Just need to pop above 231. Let's go on ZVSA. Come on, let's go. Next target would be 245. 240 to 245. You're likely to experience some resistance here. So let's see this pop. There we go.
Oh,
One more push higher.
All right. So again, if you guys are just joining us, 12 minutes or so, we'll get the traveling trader in here.
Out. Nice little scalp, ZVSA. Let's go. Let's see if this ends up going higher. I'm out before this VWAP. Let's see if the VWAP gets tested here. Look at this volume stick, folks. This is what we were waiting for. I'm so happy we were patient today and stalked this. This is the volume stick that we were waiting for to push us up. Let's see if we end up getting above VWAP here, ZVSA.
Woo!
nice.
Hell
Nice
yeah,
trade.
Ryan.
Let's go.
Great trade. Great job.
You know, we can goof around and have some fun, but if you're patient, you have a plan, let's stick to it.
Yep. Apple pushing up a little bit up to the upside as well. Calls are up 15% now. What's I'd be kind of wary. I know, Ryan, you talked about trying to find an entry point on Tesla. Just looking at the chart here, I'd be kind of like wary or skeptical of getting in on the long side right now. I'd want to see us drop down to about like the one, unless we get back above like 195. I would wait till we're back down to like closer to like 120 before getting in. Just looking at this chart, it looks like we want to head back down. To me, at least, it looks like we want to head back down to those like 120, 130 areas where there's some more support. But Tesla's one of those stocks where, it has such a high short interest that even at times where it looks like it's for sure going down, you'll get some crazy runs. So I don't know. I'm hands off on Tesla right now. I'm not going long or short.
Yeah. So, well, here are my levels for Tesla. I think you're spot on with some of those 130 levels that you were talking about there, AB. Real quick, ZVSA did push up to 250. It was rejected there. Still might go. I'm all out. I wait for another setup here. But if you held it or if you scaled, this might be the next spot. Remember, one of the things that I'm trying to do is practice for the small account challenge. I'm not going to be able to scale out of positions in that challenge. I'm simply not going to have positions big enough. It's going to be a very, very small account. So I'm trying to get in the habit of doing that. We didn't do it here. That's okay. I'm okay with it going higher. Anyway, to get back to what you were saying, AB, Tesla, the first level that I have here is 160. And you can see we've actually already bounced off that once. We are rolling back over. AB, if this falls here, I think you're exactly right. I think we probably might find a little support at 141, but inevitably the really good support here is going to be down in the 120 to 130 area. These are the levels that I have from the last time that we visited this area.
Yeah, and looks like on if you go to like a 1 or 2 minute chart, we're taking another kind of little dip here right in the last few seconds, really. But yeah, I mean, we're what? So Tesla reported earnings last week. We knew. So my hunch into the earnings was that the move was going to be to the downside, because if you remember about 2 weeks ago, Tesla reported deliveries that was actually like record deliveries, and the stock still moved down. So it just felt like the overall like sentiment in the market was negative for Tesla. And now that it's a week after earnings, I don't know what like a positive catalyst for Tesla. Well, I'll tell you what one positive catalyst for Tesla could be is if Elon Musk figures out, a Twitter CEO or something to where he says, okay, I'm back to focusing more on Tesla now. I'm done, wasting my time on Twitter. So I think that would be bullish. But other than that, after the company reported earnings last week, I don't see what would act as a bullish catalyst for the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I think the price cuts are really what drove Tesla down. By the way, as we're talking here, ZVSA took out 250. They're moving higher here. 257 year high print. That's the second block that it's taken out. So ZVSA is still kind of going here.
And then you've also got ACON, ticker ACON. So all the stocks from A to Z are moving to the upside here. 237, 250 is where I've got the next resistance level. We shall see how that plays out.
Oh, I see what you did. ACON
Thank you.
and Z,
Thank
A to Z.
you.
I like that.
Yes.
Wait,
I've got a
what's
little cleverness in me.
Jesse's asking me if I've been to the Pegasus. Oh, are you talking about the Greek restaurant down here? I used to work at a camp called Pegasus. I was
I had a Yu-Gi-Oh card named Pegasus.
Yeah,
right?
I was like the best counselor ever. I would, just play sports with the kids, do play basketball and act like I was, Shaq, just blocking every little like third grader out there, and they loved it. It was fun.
Nice.
Good job.
Glad you were bullying them.
Speaking of bully, I'm getting bullied by this BBBY position down.
Let's show the people where you're at. Oh, it's not that bad.
No, I'm actually not that bad. My Apple calls are up 20% though. Bada bing.
The question is, are you going to sell?
No, sir. They don't expire till Friday. Why would I sell? I got like 4 more days left on these bad boys.
Knife here on ZVSA. The knife coming from that 250 break. We went as high as 259 on that print. Go ahead and pull it back up here. I was still looking at these Tesla levels.
Honestly, if Apple clears this like 165.50 level, it does look like it might continue to run a little bit. It's looking a little double toppy right now unless it clears this level. So if you're out there looking at Apple right now, I would just be watching to see if we can clear this previous high of day from about 30 minutes ago. If so, looking pretty good. If not, could be coming back down.
Zunaid, what is that top yellow line that you have there on Apple? Because it sure looks like that's next here.
Yeah, it's just the consolidation that we were had for majority of Friday, just back and forth. Same thing that we've been chopping around all day today as well. So you need a break above 165.50s on Apple to see some movement, which goes ahead. And I am short the SPY here. We need a break of about 413. If we go ahead and break 413 on the retest, I will go ahead and get some calls to the upside on the SPY, but that's what's going on. You've also got Disney that's holding on to 100. So a few things to keep an eye on for sure. Yeah, it's funny. AB keeps disappearing, and I'm just going to randomly get him in trouble and just bring him on the show.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. He AB wears a lot of hats, so I think he's probably handling multiple things at once. Real quickly, while we're waiting for AB to come back from his most recent foray, we can take a look at some of the earnings that we're actually expecting the rest of this week. Again, today we're going to get Cliffs after Cleveland Cliffs after the market close, as well as First Republic Bank. That might be why it's trading so well here today. And then tomorrow, don't forget, we're going to have Verizon in the morning, McDonald's, UPS, GM, Spotify, 3M, GE, Halliburton, Raytheon. And then tomorrow after the close, we get Microsoft, Google, Visa, and Chipotle. I actually just had Chipotle yesterday, so hopefully their earnings will go up.
I had Chipotle last night too.
There we go.
So it's definitely going to beat expectations.
AB, let me ask you a question. I got asked by another teammate here, Jake from the newsletter business, about the vinaigrette for burritos.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I thought he was like setting me up. I didn't know that was a thing. I tried it. It's actually really, really good.
Yeah. So I've learned I can't really like talk about this because people get annoyed. But I trust you guys. You guys are my friends, everyone that's hanging out with here. I've been trying to put on some weight recently. And, I was at the gym last night and leaving the gym, went to Chipotle. The thing with the vinaigrette is it has like in that little cup, like 200 calories or something. So I've been getting it like for the full purpose of just adding calories to my bowl, but a lot of people don't realize that, so they get it and think it tastes really good, and they're not realizing like how it's not very healthy. But I love it, Ryan.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you telling me that because I hadn't looked up the nutritional information on the vinaigrette. You're right. I might just stick to Tabasco fewer calories here. By the way, INAB pushing up to this 240 right to its VWAP. We'll see if we actually push above INAB. One of the things we said, we want to see it kind of hold. It's actually holding some of its gains here and trading sideways. So if we get a volume pop through the VWAP, that might be an entry trigger for another day trade here.
Arden saying they love Chipotle as well. Yeah, I've learned that some things are just mainstream for a reason. Like Chick-fil-A, Chipotle are like super mainstream, super popular. They're both very good. Like they're good, quick, easy.
Couple of things here. Plasma. Well, we're saying, I mean, I don't think any of us give a shit if the Twitter CEO changes, comes on, whatever. We're just saying a catalyst that could be for Tesla is him saying he's more locked in on that side of things. This isn't about free speech. It's about
right.
Tesla.
I was saying more just from the market perspective, how the market has been like looking at the whole like Twitter thing with Elon. Like I think if Elon announced tomorrow, hey, so and so is gonna take over as CEO of Twitter, Tesla would be up 3%. I'm not talking anything about Twitter policy, free speech, if it's good or bad that Elon. I'm talking specifically just about how the market is interpreting Tesla stock through this. And you've seen it on other days where there'll be Twitter news and then Tesla stock is moving. So I'm not saying it's fair that the market is reacting that way, but it's clear that there's been some sort of connection there between what's going on at Twitter and Tesla stock. Again, that's not the only thing moving Tesla stock right now. It's probably not even in the top 10, but it's so far had influence at least a few times.
Tesla continuing to that 160 area, more downside here on Tesla.
Yeah, and you've got your stock right there that you've got up. INAB moving to the upside above VWAP now, coming up towards the 250 area. Nice little bounce from about the 217 or so. By the way, AB, I know we've got our guest in the back. Before we go ahead and start things off with him, are you looking to like bulk up or just gain weight? Like, what are you trying to do here?
Yeah, definitely put on some muscle. I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, I don't, I'm 25. I don't want to be 150 pounds for the rest of my life. So I figure I might
Can
you
flex your bicep real quick? Just so we know where you're at. We want to see progress,
Okay, a little progress. Hold me account. All right, you gotta put a calendar reminder in like 6 months to bring me back.
Dude,
on the
show
I
will. We can do like a 75 hard type stuff. Yeah, 100%. Let's do it. We need it.
All right,
we're not every single day. We need to flex your gains and your biceps. Your biceps will thankfully be.
I don't want any judgment because this is my before, right? We're taking a before picture. We're gonna be taking it after.
Community, no judgment.
All right,
go ahead, flex on them. Nice. Okay, I see a little shape there.
Wait, go full screen. Go full screen so we can see. We'll go full screen on that.
Hold on. There we go. Okay. Wait, can you flex though?
I am.
Oh, that is you flexing. Oh, my bad. Okay.
Yeah, it's very hard. You can't tell.
Embarrassing him. AB's stepping outside of his comfort zone to get the before. Let's not embarrass him. AB, I will say there is definitely some foundation there for you to build on. So you stick with that Chipotle. You talk to Michael Murray today. He'll have you whipped into shape. No problem.
You've got Michael in the office, bro. You should be looking like
this is a good suggestion. Complex carbs, full meal before bed. Yeah, actually, so I actually had Chipotle last. I was like their last guy. I felt bad. I was the guy that walked in at like 9:50 when they closed at 10. But Chipotle, I mean, Chipotle, I feel like is a place you can get away with it because they have everything ready to go and they just had what was left. Like I usually get white rice, they only had brown rice left. So I was like, yeah, just give me the brown. I'm not gonna ask them to go make something at 9:50. So I just took what they had. And so I ended up eating like a full Chipotle bowl just like an hour before bed. So that's definitely good.
AB was the guy who was like, oh, so you're going to throw it anyway. Can I just get some more? That was definitely him.
INAB here moving. We'll see if this actually holds and moves through the VWAP. Ryan Christopher saying, I happen to know of a 3-month training plan that will get you in the best shape of your life. Yeah, it's called boot camp. I don't know if AB could survive that one.
I could. I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to come off, but I think I could at least make it through basic. I'd like to think so at least, but if I, tried to do some more of the intense ones after that, maybe not. But
bro, you can barely hold it through making investments in like BBBY calls. I don't know.
True,
but
although I've got some trades working in my favor right now. But all right, I see our guest hanging out backstage. The traveling trader. He's been on Benzinga before, Benzinga Live with myself, but never on Benzinga Live trading before. So new to the show here. Let's make sure we give Mr. Traveling Trader one of our special. Do we have guest bumpers for this show? I hope so.
I don't know, producer AB. Feel like that's something you control.
I don't think we have. I don't think we have movies
Oh,
set up for him, but we should just.
well, we
keep
don't have a
walking in
specific
and
one.
be polite.
We do have a special guest little bumper. So let's go ahead and play that. We'll bring the traveling trader on the show and see what he's been watching. Welcome to live trading. How are you doing, Mr. Traveling Trader?
What is going on? How you doing, Aaron? Good to see you again.
Good to see you as well. Where are you joining us from today? I know it's always somewhere different. You're always traveling, right?
Yeah. Just got back to the home studio in LA. So same place I saw you at last time.
Yeah, I was gonna say the background looks a little familiar. So,
Glad you
got-
guys are covering the hard hitting topics there with the gains suggestions.
Yeah, see,
But
I
you know
was.
what?
I was really
all I heard
nervous.
were suggestions on eating more. I didn't hear any suggestions on exercise.
Well, we're all about gains. We're all about gains here, whether it's talking about portfolio gains, whether it's talking about, gains at the gym.
Right.
So we've got Zunaid here, our own
What's
Z.
going on, man?
We've
What's
got
going on,
Ryan, and then the traveling trader.
Hey, yeah. What are you guys watching this morning? I caught some of the show earlier, but
Yeah, I'm
interesting earnings week.
I'm
Definitely
thrilled.
I think the biggest earnings week of the season.
It is going to be one of the busiest earnings week of the season. I'm thrilled we didn't scare you away with some of our show antics, but we are watching anything that's moving here, my man. One of the stocks that we're watching that is reporting earnings tonight is FRC. They had a big move out of the gate here. We've also been trading some smaller caps, so ZVSA, Acon, and just a couple of these other stocks that are really having some momentum pushes here. More of a technical trade than anything. What do you got
Right.
on the watch list today?
Well, I'm definitely looking at Microsoft, Alphabet, and Visa because it's a lot of these names suck in so many options traders, but options traders don't take a look at how those stocks actually move during earnings. So, for instance, Tesla barely moves normally during earnings. However, a lot of options traders like to trade Tesla because they think that they're going to make 2020 type of money. But it ends up killing options premiums usually. Now we obviously had a big move the last earnings round, but in general, a lot of these mega cap names, you're better off trading neutral strategies. So sometimes I try to open up iron condors the night before, or I'll wait the day after earnings and play the extreme price movement where I'll open up one side of the iron condor if it breaches a resistance level, and then wait to open up the put side of the iron condor. But I'm definitely looking to see if there are some pretty easy neutral strategy plays here on some of these mega caps that don't usually move during earnings, but tend to see a lot of options premium coming in.
Let me
Okay,
go
awesome.
ahead. Well, I was going to say, so Z, if you wanted to, you can share your charts if you'd like. If not, I've got mine pulled up, so feel free to let me know if there's any tickers that you want us to go ahead and go over. You mentioned Visa. What are you kind of looking there? That's one that I played way back when, but nothing recently. Anything particular you're looking at?
Yeah, looking at Visa, I mean, it's again piercing that 230 or getting around to that 235 resistance. It obviously made an all-time high in August 2021, which was around 250. But yeah, I mean, I'm really trying to just monitor what is the sentiment with spending, and also what is the sentiment around interest rates. Like, is Visa going to potentially be able to report sort of record earnings, or maybe not even record earnings, but significant earnings from the fact that interest rates have been going up, and has that actually curbed spending, or has spending remained the same with interest rates rising, thereby the potential for them to make even more revenue. But I think there might be potential for Visa to actually get near that all-time high at 250 at some point, depending on how earnings look.
And are you going to play it after the report, or?
I haven't yet decided on Visa. Really, I've been also taking a look at Tesla. I know that they already reported, so I know we're not just isolating this to earnings plays, but the
Tesla
thing
did break through that 160. Sorry to interrupt. We were just looking at that level earlier, so we just broke through that 160.
Yeah, and then we have that gap between 145 and 155. But the thing that's interesting with Tesla, I think, is that Elon basically said that we're willing to lose money on cars. I think they're taking the Apple approach, right, where they want to be able to maximize the average revenue per user. And so they want to sell cars now, as many cars as possible, and eat up that market share that I think VW and Kia are sort of gaining on, and then try to monetize those cars that people own in the future. So I don't think that's good news for the stock in the short term. So I am looking at short plays on Tesla, maybe a debit put spread, maybe a credit call spread. Longer term, I would say maybe 3 months out, because I don't think that story with declining margins on Teslas is over. And I do take Elon at his word that, you know, he is willing to really slash that margin in order to get as many Teslas in as many people's hands. So that's what I'm looking at.
Ryan, you had something. I interrupted you.
Oh, I was just going to say that we were breaking through that 160 level, but you guys actually called that out here. The other thing that was really interesting on the Visa play that he was talking about, we are right at an area where we are either going to break out or break down, in my opinion. This is likely not going to continue to trade sideways here. Obviously, we have the earnings there coming up, but to me, you know, the one question I wanted to ask is, does the softening consumer or the credit crunch or the risk of default worry you for that Visa trade at all, Z?
Definitely in the long term, and especially if they talk about it on the earnings call, right? Like once they start talking about guidance, because you'll see the initial move, and then obviously the earnings call starts, and it could look like a totally different picture. But for sure, I've made videos about the upcoming credit crunch, and those signs are already starting to show.
Yep.
Now, will it lead to some sort of catastrophic credit event? I don't think anybody knows, but that's usually where, you know, these black swan type events happen, when rates are raised and kept to such a high level that they start putting an insane amount of stress on the financial system, and almost every single asset of our financial system is based on credit. So that's why, you know, we expect there to be some sort of credit event. The extent, I don't know. The specific industry, I don't know, but it definitely would worry me in the long term, and I would be watching out on the earnings call to see what Visa thinks about it in their guidance call, for sure.
Yeah, you read my mind there. I feel the exact same way. Impossible to predict black swan events, but knowing what's coming here absolutely can affect that trade. That's really great stuff. By the way, while we were talking here, SPY moving to the lows of the day here. So big knife on volume here. I don't see anything yet, but I'll go take a look here. Zunaid, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yeah, on that SPY, right? We were short off of that 413. We had it all the way down. Now we've gone from green to red to the downside. We talked about Tesla breaking down. Now you've also got Disney that went ahead and cracked that $100 level. If you go ahead and take a look at the 5-minute, you had the break, you had the retest of the downside. We go 99.57 is where I expect to bounce a little bit there. Do you enjoy day trading more, Z, or do you prefer to swing trade, or what? Especially because if you're not, you know, stuck to the screen or you're traveling.
You know what? Day trading for sure. That is what, you know, we mostly do in our communities, day trading. There used to be a time when swing trading was easier. I would say up until the end of 2021, when we were kind of following that cycle on the S&P, where we would get to that resistance line that everybody and their mom was drawing, and you'd be able to buy puts and hold those puts for 2 weeks to a month. But since we pierced that line and we've gotten above the 200-day moving average, I think things have been really sideways. I think that bulls and bears tend to prematurely celebrate. But if you take a look at the S&P 500 now, from, you know, May 2022 until now, it's really been trading within a 9% range, right? Like you're seeing it trade the S&P 500 between 3,800 and 4,200. We did have blips above in August and blips below in October, but for the most part, those look like outliers now, and we've really had this sideways market since May 2022. So I do think it was easier when we had that established trend line, but that trend line was finally broken in January, and now I'm taking much less swings. The one thing that I'm interestingly swinging are the 2-year futures. I think that the 2-year futures, which the ticker symbol is /ZT, that one I think has been relatively easy to play, establishing a support and a resistance. Certainly after, I think it was the March FOMC meeting, it's really found a clean support and clean resistance that you can play, you know, the ZT futures off of. Obviously that one trades more like an equity, where you would just short or long it. I'm not trading the options on futures, which just seems like inception. But yeah, the ZT futures, we took a trade a few days ago from, when it hit that same support level that we saw back in mid-March. And you know what? If on May 3rd, I'm thinking about holding this trade, probably one of the only trades I'm holding right now, including long dated VIX calls, but holding this until May 3rd. Or a little bit before, because I do think that the Fed is going to do one more 25 basis point rate hike. That is definitely priced in. If you look at the CME watch tool, which tracks the Fed funds futures, that's at 80% probability that they do that. But I'm looking to see if they actually hint at pausing. I don't think we're gonna get any sort of pivot or cut as the market was hoping for some reason. I don't know why they were hoping this a few months ago. But if they do hint at pausing, which is the most likely scenario based on how Fed funds futures traders are betting, then I do think that 2-year the futures will rocket and the yield will slam, because now if you're expecting rates to pause, you want to capture that yield. So those are really the types of swings that I'm looking at. In terms of equity swings, I mean, you guys know it's been kind of a nightmare. Like, how many people do you know have tried to short Nvidia for the last month? And Nvidia for a month has literally been laughing in people's faces, because the market is usually not that obvious, right? It tries to inflict the pain trade. When there's too many one-sided trades, it's too easy for market makers to enforce a squeeze in the other direction. So it's been tough. I would like to get your guys' thoughts on what do you think the swing trading landscape has been as it relates to equities.
I'll start here because I can barely contain my excitement. You are literally preaching to the choir and saying everything that I've been saying for the past week. Z, I am also someone that hopes to be able to swing trade. If I had my choice, I would probably do 90% swing trading and 10% day trading. But you know what, my man? The market just has not given that to us. Here is the SPY chart that I check in and review every morning before we start here. This downtrend is the blue channel here. This is from the start of 2022. You mentioned the trend line breaking to the upside and the 200-day. That's this dark blue line. Spot on. Was using this. Much easier to trade that swings to the downside in this environment. That's not something that I do. We really have broken out of here. And you're right. We're in kind of a tighter range here on a percentage basis. So to me, and as far as the Fed goes, I agree with you. I think a 25 bips raise is priced in already for May. We've actually got some hints from some of the Fed people that there might be another one. Mester last week was saying that rates were going to stay higher for longer. They're going to explore another one. So to your point about I agree with that. I don't think we pivot at all in 2023. I think the earliest is 2024, and a lot of things would have to happen for that to be the case. But I still think that we might even see one more hike now. And I was in the camp that the last one we were going to see is in May, but now I'm just not too sure. So as far as swing trading goes, it's been very, very difficult. I haven't taken a swing trade. The last one I took was a small Caterpillar call position that I got stopped out of, which was really, really frustrating on some of this volatility. I've been focusing predominantly on day trades. It's one of the reasons why you saw us talking about some of these dollar small cap stocks here today. So I'm with you. Swing trading, not the best environment right now.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the trend line that you drew. That's the exact trend line I was talking about.
Yep.
So once breaking out, if now you go all the way back to May, you can almost draw a parallel line, because from May, obviously you have the outliers. When it popped to 4,300, which is around, I think, 430 on the SPY. But really has been trading in a 9% range, which is crazy. And, I'm sure you guys see it on Twitter. I don't know, other channels that you might be focusing on, where bulls and bears prematurely celebrate each peak and trough of this channel. But it's really been a sideways trade.
And so here is that, just for the graphical representation, I used the measurement tool to draw that 9% range that you're talking about. That's dead on, with the exception of just a couple of outliers. We've just kind of been in there. It's hard to see here on this chart because it's the same color as my channel, but you're right, 9% range right in here. Yeah,
for sure. And then, so someone was asking if I can share my screen. I want to show you something, like why I'm really interested in the 2-year futures. I've been beating the drum on this all along, but obviously this isn't my first go around as it relates to recessions. 2008, old enough to remember that like the back of my hand, even old enough to remember, what happened in 2000. But at that time I wasn't trading a lot because I didn't, I was still a new graduate, didn't have that many funds to trade. But, there is a very interesting phenomenon as it relates to the 2-year futures, or the 2-year yield and the Fed funds rate. I'm not sure. Can I share my screen?
Click present, you should be able to share your screen. I'll go ahead and throw it up here when you got it ready.
Okay, let me see.
So on your stream deck on the bottom, you should see like a share screen present, something like that. The middle of the 6 available.
Got it. Okay.
And one more thing, Z, while you're getting that up here, we did have a question earlier from Beach Bum Trading here in the chat asking you what you use as an internet connection while you're traveling around.
Yeah, so I have this this little pocket Wi-Fi thing, and what I do is, I basically go to a cell phone store and buy. Every country's different, but I'll buy a preloaded SIM card with the fastest internet that I can get, and usually use that pocket Wi-Fi. You can get one for like between $100 and $200. It's not that expensive. And yeah, like I said, different countries have different, different Wi-Fi plans and whatnot and strengths. But some countries you can work, I can tether straight off of my phone as well. It really depends on where I am. But unfortunately, sometimes I will make travel plans based on how strong
the internet
is in that country.
By the way, I got your screen up here. So you're currently showing the Fed economic growth chart.
Right. So in blue, that's the Fed funds effective rate. In red, that is the 2-year yield. And I want you to take a look at every time the red falls below the blue. So every time that the 2-year yield falls below the Fed funds rate, that is when the Fed pauses. I'm going to move my mouse in a second because it's annoyingly bumping these infographics. But you see the blue then flatline, and then they both tank, right? And the gray bars here, that indicates a recession. So if you look, all the way back to the .com bust, you see that when the 2-year yield falls below the Fed funds rate, that is typically when the Fed pauses, right? Because that's when things tend to break. The Fed funds rate is considered an overnight rate. And if banks are getting a better yield overnight than they are on the 2-year on a 2-year treasury, that is usually when things start to break, and that is when things from a bond yield perspective don't make sense, and that is when things from a banking perspective don't make sense. Like I said, why would a bank hold any 2-year treasuries if they're getting a better rate from the Fed overnight? So that's when you tend to see the blue flat line, which indicates a Fed pause. And then the 2-year yield just tanks off the face of the earth, right? And you saw this back in 2008 too. Once the 2-year yield falls below the Fed funds rate, Fed pauses, and the 2-year gets slammed. So obviously there's an inverse relationship between bond yields and bond prices. And when the 2-year yield slams, the 2-year futures, which represents the price of the 2-year, rockets, right? So we tend to see that every time. And now we are... If I could just zoom in here, let me see if it's clear. We are now at the cusp of that, where the 2-year has fallen below the Fed funds rate. So, I can see what you're saying about a Fed rate hike, coming up in June, maybe July. That's going to be. I think that one's going to be tough. I could see maybe 25 and 25. Or at least 25, and them not indicating a pause. But I do think that because of this phenomenon here, a pause is more likely due in the summer or before.
Okay, good stuff.
Yep. Cool.
Let me see here if there's let me put up my charts here once again. Are you like ever trading any small caps at all, or is it mainly just kind of bigger picture blue chips for you?
No, I really, when I'm day trading now, I'm opting more for futures, right? So I trade ES/NQ futures. And I know that the collateral can be insane for some people, but luckily we do have micros, right? There's MNQ, MES. But I do really like trading the futures because it's face value pricing, right? Not only do you get a tax break where, you know, it's taxed at a 60-40 rate. 60%
Right.
of it is only 40% of it is taxed as a short-term capital gains.
Right.
But also it's face value. So like if you buy an option, a put or a call, and you just hold it and the price isn't doing anything, that option premium is going to get killed.
Right.
Whereas, you know, a future contract trades very much like an equity. If you buy it and it's at a set price and it doesn't move, you don't lose any money. There's no premium. There's no time decay. There's no implied volatility. So lately I've been trading NQ and ES futures.
And are you a fan of like ticks, or are you using the minutes, or what do you prefer? Because I always hear both sides of things. I'm interested in which one do you prefer, the tick chart or you prefer minute chart?
No, in general, I'm looking for a bias, right? So I look at the 15-minute and up to see whether there is a potential trend established for the day, right? Is it going to be a bullish or bearish day? And then after I draw my levels, I scale down and take trades off of the 5-minute and 1 minute. But if I'm looking at the 1 minute and things aren't that clear, I will start scaling up to the 2 minute, to the 3 minute, and then evidently to the 5 minute if things aren't clear. I do try to trade off of the quickest chart possible, not really going under a minute, you know, into the seconds chart. But yeah, that's essentially how I set up my you know, my chart is I'm looking at the 15-minute and up to see if I can see a clear trend, because, you know, we have been getting those trending days where the price is moving up, and in your mind you're like, can it really keep moving up, or vice versa, right? And those are the worst days to try to counter the market. Yeah. I think it's just human nature to want to take the epic reversal, but I think more money is lost trying to play reversal than with the trend, right?
Absolutely.
But in our mind, we're contrarians by nature. So you're like, oh, this market has been going up all day. I'm gonna take an epic short. But yeah, that might work out a few times, but the market has a way of spanking you back into reality, right? So,
and that's why they say trend is your friend. And yeah, I've got the 1 second chart up just so folks can see how much of a heart attack it can give you if you're in a position. You know what I mean? Because like I look at it just for like fun every 3 months or so, but like this would just drive me nuts. Like that, like my emotions would be all over the place if I'm watching this while I'm in a trade, especially with something like the NQ, which moves so rapidly and can have a wide range to things as well. Yeah, this definitely is not for me whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, 10 points on NQ is already, you know, $200 just on one contract, let alone if you have multiple, right? So
well, let's see if we've got anything else. So by the way, folks that want to check out your YouTube channel, because I know we've got about 6 minutes left here or so. But can you tell us a little bit about what all they can find on your YouTube channel? I know you've got your website there as well.
Yeah, so the Traveling Trader on YouTube, been on YouTube. It seems ancient now because most YouTube channels started, I think, during the pandemic. We started in late 2017. So the Traveling Trader on YouTube, it's really turned into an array of different topics. You know, sometimes we make videos on the macroeconomic landscape and what's going on with financial news, and then some of the videos are very trading specific, how to draw Fibonacci's, you know, how to look for imbalances in the market, how to trade liquidity draws, etc. So it is kind of a hodgepodge of various topics within finance, but I think all really related to one another, at least from the way that I view the market. So really the channel is just a reflection of how I look at the markets. I know a lot of traders don't even care to look at what's going on with interest rates or whatnot, but in my view, it's
guilty.
It's
super important.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, like when I'm looking, say, like the 2-year futures, there's no way that I would know that was a potentially lucrative trade without knowing that. So like it annoys me if I don't have a handle on, you know, or try to have a handle on everything that's going on. You know what I mean? So
I mean, Ryan, look, I'm trading off the 1 second chart. You know what I mean? I don't care. You know, they always mess with me. They're like, "Hey, what do you think is going to happen with this?" I'm like, "Bro, Call me when it's done. I'll look at the charts and I'll see what I want to do. But besides that, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'll
By the
care
way-
about it when I need to buy a house, a car, and everything else that impacts my life at a much larger scale. But like, no. But no.
By the way, getting a shout out here from one of our chat members, Richard, saying, love the TA Tuesday video. Sounds like a really educational channel. Go check that out. Thanks again. Thanks again for all of that.
Thank you guys for having me. But yeah, the website's travelingtrader.com, the Traveling Trader on YouTube. That's pretty much where you can find me.
And by the way, don't be put off by having a channel that started before COVID. That means that you just earned the OG badge for your YouTube channel, my man. Good stuff there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for that. Yeah, you guys have definitely been around at least as a brand even longer than that. So
Yeah. AB, you got anything else, pal? How are your Apple calls looking before we head off?
Not great. They're down about 30% right now. I did get into some Tesla puts though that are up 90%, so kind of evening out there. But my Bed Bath & Beyond trade is not working out, so we're down a little bit in the portfolio today. But again, the real strategy starts in an hour. Traveling Trader, I think you missed this part, but my theory is that if you just bought at noon every day so far this year, you'd be up, because it feels like every day the market's kind of like, oh, we don't know what we want to do. We're down 0.5%, and then right at noon, people are like, okay, fine, we'll buy.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's been my theory. So I'm going to test it out today. But yeah, man, always great to get you on. We got to get you back on the channel again sometime soon.
for sure, man, for sure. And very brave that you bought Apple calls here at
AB, he says brave, but he meant dumb.
Well, I mean, at one point, if I didn't have a PDT restriction, at one point I was up like 20% on them, but I can't sell them until tomorrow. So now I'm a bull for the next 4 hours. So we'll see how that works out. 5 hours.
Yeah, I mean, right here we're coming up on major resistance. So
Here,
I was
I'll put
actually
your
looking
chart
at
shot.
potentially.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because after I bought the calls, I started looking at the
Then
chart
he
and I was
saw it.
like,
Then
I was
he
like,
saw it.
I was like, did I not say that, Zunaid? I was like,
You
this doesn't
did.
look
You
great.
did.
I was like, this
He
doesn't
was
look
like-
great.
He was like, yeah, I bought these calls, and then I looked at the chart, and I was like, bro.
And that's why you usually want to look at the chart before you make those calls.
Yeah.
Nice. Way to go. Way to go.
Well, yeah, this was fun, guys. Thank you guys for having me. Look forward to being on again.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely got to have you on.
was
This
good.
is awesome.
Great.
Appreciate you guys.
pal.
Thank you
Hey,
so much.
safe travels wherever you're going next.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, guys.
All right, and my Tesla puts are going in the wrong direction now. So got a few
Yeah,
things.
so
working
Tesla's
again.
coming up at that 160 area. As a matter of fact, I'm looking to go short. I am short now. Tesla off of that 160 test. Stop loss for me is going to be about $1 above. So we'll see if that previous support can end up being resistance or not. But that was fun. That was awesome. Thanks for the suggestion, AB. You're the one who introduced us, and shout out to Zoltan for connecting with his reps and making it happen.
Yeah, man. Always love to bring some interesting guests to the channel. Always good to see what other people are thinking outside of ourselves. You know.
Absolutely. All right, I think we're about to wrap up. Yeah, AB.
Yeah, it's about 11 a.m. So no Benzinga live today. We will be doing a Benzinga live tomorrow at 11:30. So just a heads up to you guys. I might hop off a little earlier tomorrow, but then hop back in toward the end. But then we'll be doing a Benzinga live at 11:30. Otherwise, today, I don't know. I think Pre-Market Prep will be doing a show on their channel. I don't think we're having much content. Obviously, Mitch is out today. So thanks for everyone who tuned in with us today. Please smash the like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Ryan and Zunaid, thank you as always. Good luck with the rest of your Monday, and good luck to your trades.
Thank you
Appreciate
as
you,
well.
pal.
Take care, AB. We're gonna have fun this week, my man.
Let's do it. Let's keep ripping some more live trades in the morning. Ryan, no more Cardinals. If the Cardinals lose tonight, I don't want to hear it, because I think we'll be the most games under 500 for like 10 years. I don't know. It's been bad so far. So either way, thanks again to everyone who joined us. Like Ryan said, we're gonna have some fun this week, so we hope to see you back tomorrow. Till then, happy trading and stay green.
See ya.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore.